Imagine this. You're at home, comfortable, surrounded by the familiar hum of modern life. And then without warning, the world goes silent and dark. It's a profound, almost physical silence. The hum of the refrigerator stops. The low thrum of the HVAC system vanishes. The digital clock on the microwave is a black void. Outside, the familiar orange glow of civilization is gone. The streetlights outside vanish, plunging your entire neighborhood into an unfamiliar, deep darkness. In that moment of sudden sensory deprivation, your brain scrambles for a solution, for a return to normalcy. Your first instinct is probably to fumble for your phone, to use that blindingly bright screen as a makeshift flashlight. It feels like the right thing to do. It's a small piece of technology that promises to beat back the darkness. But in doing that, you've just committed your first major tactical error in a blackout. It's a mistake born of habit, a mistake that could have serious consequences depending on how long the power stays out. Let's break down why this is such a critical failure. First, you've announced your vulnerability to anyone looking. That bright screen acts as a beacon, signaling to the outside world, someone is in here and they have a working electronic device. In a prolonged crisis, that makes you a potential target for the desperate. You've just advertised your resources. Second, you've destroyed your own night vision. Your eyes are magnificent tools, capable of adapting to low-light conditions. But blasting them with the harsh blue-white light of a phone screen effectively resets that adaptation. It can take up to 45 minutes for your eyes to fully regain their sensitivity to the dark, leaving you blind to your surroundings. And third, you've wasted precious battery life on a task that requires a tiny fraction of that power. Your phone is your lifeline to information and communication. Every percentage point of its battery is a resource more valuable than gold in an extended grid-down scenario. Using it as a clumsy, inefficient flashlight is a profound waste. We are so accustomed to flipping a switch for overwhelming light that we've forgotten how to see in the dark. We've outsourced this fundamental human skill to the power grid. We treat darkness as an enemy to be vanquished with brute force, rather than an environment to be understood and navigated with skill. But during the Cold War, agents operating in hostile territories couldn't afford that luxury. For an operative behind the Iron Curtain, a careless flicker of light wasn't just a mistake, it was a death sentence. It could compromise a mission, expose a network, and lead to capture. Their survival depended on mastering a simple yet profound principle of light discipline. It was a core tenet of their training, as essential as knowing how to use a cipher or handle a weapon. They learned to treat every photon of light as a potential betrayer. And today we're going to learn that same principle, not for espionage, but for enduring a blackout with confidence and control. We're going to reclaim that lost skill and turn a situation of potential panic into one of calm capability. The first step is a mental one. We need to shift our entire mindset from, how do I get more light, to, how do I use the absolute minimum light necessary and use it intelligently? This isn't about recreating daylight indoors. It's about working with the darkness, not against it. It's about precision, subtlety, and efficiency. This is the core of what was known as angled illumination or contained light. The names themselves reveal the strategy. It's not about the intensity of the light source, but about the control you have over its direction and spill. The goal wasn't to flood a room with light, but to provide a tiny, directed pool of illumination exactly where it was needed, and nowhere else. If you need to read a map, you illuminate the map, not the entire table. If you need to find something in a drawer, you light the inside of the drawer, not the whole bedroom. Every single lumen has a job, and it is directed to do that job without waste. To understand this principle in action, think of a submarine during wartime. It's one of the most perfect real-world examples of light discipline. It's dark inside, but the control panels are faintly lit with red light. Not white, not blue, but a deep dim red. Every gauge, every switch, every critical piece of information is legible, but the overall environment remains dark. Because red light has the least impact on your human night vision. The rod cells in your eyes, which are responsible for seeing in low light, are not very sensitive to long wavelength red light. This means you can use red light to see things up close, like your instruments, without bleaching your rods. It allows you to read your instruments while still being able to peer out into the dark ocean through the periscope. A submariner can glance from a red-lit dial directly to the periscope and immediately detect the faint silhouette of a distant enemy ship against the horizon. If they had used white light, they would be blind for crucial minutes, a fatal delay in combat. Your homestead during a blackout is your submarine. It is your vessel, your sanctuary in a sea of uncertainty. You need to see what you're doing inside, preparing food, checking your supplies, tending to a family member, without blinding yourself to what's happening outside your windows. You need to be able to glance up from your task and instantly register a flicker of movement or a strange light across the street. White light makes this impossible. Disciplined light makes it second nature. So let's get practical. This isn't about buying expensive specialized gear. The Cold War agents often had to improvise, and so can we. The beauty of this technique lies in its simplicity and reliance on common household items. How do you create this angled illumination with what you have on hand? It's embarrassingly simple. All you need is a source of flame and a way to contain it. Take a standard tea light candle. These are cheap, widely available, and have a decent burn time. They are a cornerstone of any good blackout kit. On its own, it's a naked flame, flickering and casting wild, disorienting shadows across the entire room. It spills light everywhere, up onto the ceiling, across the walls. It's messy, inefficient, and highly visible from the outside. Not good. This is the brute force approach we want to avoid. It's no better than a bonfire on your coffee table. Now take a simple cardboard box like a cereal box. An empty oatmeal container or a shoebox works just as well. With a knife or scissors, carefully cut a small hole about the size of a coin in one side. The size of this aperture is key. Too big and you lose control, too small and you won't get enough light. Now place the lit tea light inside the box. Position it carefully on the bottom so the flame is directly behind that small hole. Make sure the box is stable and not near any other flammable materials. Safety is paramount. What have you just created? You've created a directed light source. A simple, effective, and nearly free piece of survival equipment. You've transformed a chaotic, messy light source into a precision tool. The box contains 95% of the light, preventing it from splashing across the room and ruining your night vision. All you have is a single focused beam coming out of that small hole. The light is now your servant, not your master. You can now point that beam directly at a book you're reading, or a map you're studying, or the controls on your propane stove. The task area is perfectly illuminated, while the space just inches away remains dark. You can move the box to aim the beam exactly where you need it, moment to moment, and the effect on your tactical position is profound. The rest of the room remains in comforting darkness, preserving your night vision and making your presence invisible from outside. To a person looking at your house from the street, it appears dark and unoccupied. You've achieved operational security with a cereal box. It's a DIY lighthouse for your kitchen table, and it costs you nothing. This simple trick, born from the shadows of the Cold War, is one of the most powerful tools you can have in a blackout.